So you have fibromyalgia.
Yeah, lucky me.
Yeah, and how long have you had it?
12 years now, diagnosed. But I've had symptoms for at least since I'm 13 years old.
Oh, you have?
So 17 years.
Okay. And was there, like, how did it start?
I started having pains in my lower back, noticing pains. That was there when I was a kid, but didn't really pay attention to that. I always chalked it up to something else. And eventually I started having a pain in my lower back that just was there every day and getting worse, not as bad, back to normal. So I started seeing doctors to see what it could be. And as I was waiting for a diagnosis or whatever, it took about like 2 years. And then finally they told me it was fibromyalgia, but at that point my whole back was getting cramps and I was starting to get really tired all the time, chronic fatigue.
You're how old?
I was 18 at that point.
Okay, and you mentioned that you got a Hep B vaccine when you were 18?
Yeah, that's when I got the vaccine.
And then did it get worse after
That's
that?
when, yeah, that's it. Like the chronic fatigue kicked in and like a bunch of other symptoms. I can't even remember what else, but the depression was one of them for sure. The pain, like just tiredness in my muscles. I would start doing something and get sore right away. I would rollerblade and get tired, which was never a problem before.
So before that, when you were young, you just had pain in your back and a cramp, and it might have been like some problem with your back, or
maybe,
it might have been
not. That's it, because my curvature from how I was placed as a twin in the body. But
oh, right, you were a twin.
You know, it's not something that was diagnosed. It's just a supposition.
So you had a back problem, and of course, probably your doctor would say that that was like the early stage of your fibro.
But now, yes, they would relate it to that.
But what actually happened was you just had that problem until you were 18, and then all of a sudden you started, like you were saying, you had been rollerblading and doing all these things, and then just like after you got that vaccine, suddenly you started having
having
all over.
Pain all the time, wondering if I had injured myself somehow because of the pain being so bad. I wouldn't be able to rollerblade for more than 2 hours without like feeling like I had just worked out for 2 days, you know, like really hard, like pain and cramps everywhere. So.
Because you know there's some who think that the Hep B vaccine could be linked to fibromyalgia, but I mean one study said that the risk was, you had like 3 times the risk if you had the vaccine, but then the pharmaceutical industry will come out with another study that will prove that it's not, but you know, I saw one of their studies and they just sort of watered down the people in the study, and who knows what they did. Maybe they probably play with their data, and it's very hard to find out the truth.
It's always, you know, easy to say what they want to say, you know, to make whatever they did look better, you know, make themselves look okay,
But you do have the 6 nurses in Quebec.
Yeah, that's encouraging, at least to hear that people in the medical field that would know what they're talking about. It more might be, you know, now speaking up and saying, hey, this happened to me as well. So it's not just a bunch of drug addicts or junkies that are like, oh, I got my Hep B vaccine and this pain now I have. A lot of doctors thought that I was just some drug addict looking for painkillers. Like, that's why it was very hard for me to get help as well.
Right.
And if it's not that, they'll be thinking that you're psychosomatically bringing on these symptoms to be lazy, you know.
But you also have seizures.
Yes, this came on within I started having them around 25 years of
So
age.
that was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So if you have pain and muscle cramping, but you also have seizures as well, it's hard to imagine that the seizures are psychosomatic.
Yeah, that's it. That I can't be created, and they happen to me while I'm in my sleep. So I mean, it's the only relation that they made to my fibromyalgia was that because of my REM sleep, I'm not getting the deep sleep, and my brain is always being triggered and working. It's not resting enough. So this could be a reason why the seizures are happening. But there's no total diagnosis yet.
And you're on 1 seizure medication, you said, but you also use medical marijuana?
Yes, I use medical marijuana for pain, for depression, for appetite, a list of things.
So it works really well for a lot of your
Very
symptoms?
Well. Oh yes,
it
helps me with my pain immensely.
And how does your doctor feel about it?
My doctor actually encourages it. She thinks that it's a good idea for me to smoke marijuana or do it whichever way I want. Instead of, it's replacing at least 7 medications for now that she would have to prescribe me. So
pharmaceutical medications which would have side effects.
Which could have side effects that hurt my insides because I've already enough medications are going through there. So this is good for me, the marijuana.
Yeah.
It's helping.
And how do you feel about the oregano oil?
Actually, that's good. I just tried it today, and my calf was hurting me a lot, and I put it on, and it's gone through as deep as anything I've tried before. I wasn't surprised.
Really?
I'm really surprised that
And
it's
it doesn't
helping.
hurt?
Doesn't hurt at all anymore, and I think I could even walk without it hurting for a good while. So my cane might not be needed.
So far the natural remedies are working better.
Are always better, yes, because they don't bring me to. Every natural remedy I've tried never gave me a side effect to deal with. And the pharmaceuticals always give me a new problem.
Right.
So a new medication has to be taken to fix that. So it's never really something that fixes my problem. No. Yeah. No long-term issues with the medical stuff. You know, like you got to fix it naturally, I think. You know, like so far that's what's working for me. All the medical pharmaceuticals I've been taking, I want to get out of my system. I feel it. It's not good for me.
It's toxic.
It's not helping me. I'm still in pain. I'm still tired. I'm still depressed. None of it's helping.